Kevin Kline in drag, Will Smith in drag. We watched Wild Wild West, and we're talking about it again. What a drag. This is In Defense of Bad Movies. Hey everyone, welcome to Defense of Bad Movies. Sam here. We got, to my left, Lauren McJanet Taylor.
Hi, Sam.
Hi Lauren, how are you?
All right, how are you doing?
Good. Then to her left, Laura King.
Hi.
How are you?
Doing well. How are you doing?
Good. You're better than before? You weren't feeling well earlier?
Yeah, my stomach's just not feeling well, but I'm feeling okay now.
Okay, good. And to her left, kind of directly in front of me, trying to paint a verbal picture, Bobby Mattern.
Howdy.
How are you?
Great.
Good.
Was that your best West impression?
Reckon. Oh, that's not Tim West. That's something else.
His perks.
So, in the opening segment, I alluded to the fact that we were talking about it again. We actually talked about this movie, but long story short, don't ever buy a first-generation Microsoft Surface. I can't speak for later generations, but this one sucks.
Unless Microsoft wants to sponsor this podcast.
Yeah,
in which case
Microsoft is the bomb. But yeah, so I recorded it. It went away. It was a big problem, and so here we are again, talking about it again.
I can't believe we have to talk about this movie
I
again.
know, but we're gonna make the most.
Gosh.
We're gonna make the most of it.
That's
What do you think, guys? Can we just cut straight to the chase? Kind of give a quick synopsis of what happened last time.
we all agreed it was one of the best movies we have seen.
It was quite shocking.
Very memorable.
Yeah.
Sam made a compelling argument. And
I
passion
won
and
everyone
wonderful.
over.
I'm sad that you can't remember a single word of it because it really would have changed
Yeah.
everything.
I think it was the first one we've had where the defender at the very end went, it wasn't that great.
Yeah, I backed down, and I did. I think I made a valiant defense of it, but yeah,
You
when it
did.
came down
You really
to it,
tried.
Oh, guys, we're spoiling it right now. They were going to know the outcome. They're not going to listen to the rest of it.
no, because
We're trying to go home, Laura.
because we're going to take this opportunity to try some segment. Well, let's talk before we get to that. Yeah, okay, we are going to talk about. We're going to try some new segments and see what sticks. But before that, let's talk about some of the crappy parts of the movie, shall we?
Oh, wait, Sam. I want to do my 30-second recap.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. Yeah, let's.
You're trying to interrupt my 30-second recap of
I
this
started
movie.
a new.
Can someone please set their timers to 30 seconds?
Okay, wait. Before we do, I'll set it. But I forgot. There's a minor change.
Oh.
We've had some budget cuts.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's now 15-second recap.
It's 20 seconds.
Oh, okay.
20 seconds? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Okay.
Last time you were perfect. You were able to
Yeah.
do a synopsis of Wild Wild West
Sorry,
from 30 to the second.
We were almost out of. We used a lot of our seconds last time. So and go.
All right, so this movie has Will Smith as kind of this like reckless not detective, but like he's a gunslinging marshal, I think he is, or is that Kevin Kline? I don't know. Well, it doesn't really matter, but the two of them are inevitably paired up, and they don't like each other, and they're trying to stop Madman, who is played by Kenneth Branagh, and he's in a big, large spider.
Oh.
So, yeah. I think
that
it
was
The amazing
He's a
thing
large
is
spider?
Laura got all of it, basically.
No, that was Prost movie, sure.
You didn't want to. Did we? Did we get it all?
Most,
Okay, good enough.
well, what would be considered essential?
Lauren whispered in my ear, "Make Bobby do it in 15 seconds."
Bobby, go!
But if you covered it all, I guess we'll. Sorry, it was a good idea.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, let's talk about this stinker of a movie.
Sorry.
I don't even know where to begin.
I love that the pretense is down now. We don't have to even pretend
Yeah.
that you were defending it, that you can just fully acknowledge piece of crap film.
I still say, I did end up saying that I think I disliked it less than you guys did. I think I was a little bit more accepting.
I don't think I actually hated it that much. Like, I would say that if you're in a mood for a movie that you don't have to think at all, and that has a ridiculous storyline, that you could just watch it and enjoy it for the ridiculousness that it is.
I don't know if it was good enough to be that, you know?
I think the most offensive thing I can say about it is, in Laura's synopsis, she squeaked out giant spider at the very, very end, which this movie does, and with a gigantic robotic spider. And we watched it a week ago, and I can barely remember any of it. For a movie that ends with a giant mechanical spider, that's unacceptable, I would say.
But that's the whole movie. Like, they're all the bits and pieces and moving parts. Like, the only thing that could possibly stick is giant, ridiculous mechanical spider that is stupid in and of itself, but somehow that's the only thing that could possibly burn itself onto your memory.
But I think you're right, Laura. It is. There are worse movies to watch. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not defending it at all, but I'm just saying that I think that it's one of those movies that if it's on TV and you have nothing to do, then sure. And nothing else is on, then you could turn it on in the background and it's...
Like Bobby hit on it, which I think is the worst thing a movie can be, is boring.
It's vapor.
And that's...
But I feel like this movie was boring. Like,
right, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So,
we haven't mentioned Kenneth Branagh, who plays the villain.
Well, we've rarely mentioned anything.
Yeah.
That's true, yeah. Yeah, shall we? I thought it actually started out kind of decently with Will Smith showing his wiener. No,
oh my gosh, he shows his balls.
Any movie with Will Smith junk, it's like, it has to be somewhat entertaining.
This movie is
right?
rated PG-13, and right off the bat, you get 2 shots of Will Smith's genitals.
No,
2. Count them 2.
Lauren and I didn't see that, which might say more about you guys than it does about the
Yeah,
movie.
we rewound.
I would encourage you to Google Will Smith's genitals, Wild Wild West, but actually don't do that. I'm sure that might be.
Although, if it's between that or watching the movie, just go ahead and Google it.
If that's the only thing you're curious about. Yeah. Oh gosh. And it's happened. It all starts so wackily. Like, Will Smith is making out with a girl in the water tower and then stumbles on these criminals, and then a second later we're in a saloon with Kevin Kline in horrible drag. The very first shot is just Kevin Kline in his ridiculous lady costume. No lead in, no fun reveal of it. Just whoa, look at that. That's happening.
The alternate synopsis is Kevin Kline plays dress up, which he just does a lot in this movie.
Yeah. And I made this point last time, but I think it's kind of funny that, and I erringly said that he did 2, but he actually did 3 disguises in the movie. 3 major disguises. 1 where he was a hideous woman. 2, he's some Canadian, Russian, we're not 100%
trapper,
sure.
Something like that.
And the other one where he does a dead-on fantastic impression of the guy who's also played by Kevin Kline, which is kind of a cheat.
And he just happens to be the president.
The president.
Yeah, that's all right.
The second movie where Kevin Kline plays both his character and the president, and this movie just made me want to watch Dave all the more.
Meet Dave? That was Eddie Murphy.
That was it.
I know you love that movie, but... so what else? There was a guy with blades for arms. There was...
I think now that we talk about Kevin Kline, I think he might be the very first guy we see in this movie, too. The one who's running with that metal thing?
Kevin Kline is not
that's
the
one of
first
the
guy.
scientists.
Yeah,
but I think he might be dressed up like an old... It kind of looked like him.
I don't know if you remember, but later we see a man's head.
Yeah, no, I realize that, but
head.
Yeah, it's not a real head though.
It's a man's head, and in fact, the head of the man we see earlier. But Will Smith really wants to labor the point when he comes across Kevin Kline's experiment with this gentleman's decapitated head.
And I might be wrong,
man's.
but I believe the first line, if not the first, one of the first lines in the movie is that man, after running through the woods, saying "giant spider," just to cue you in. Giant spider.
Just in case all the spider motifs that were running through Kenneth Branagh's character's life.
I think Kenneth Branagh would become Spider-Man. That seemed like where it was going, didn't it?
Just in case that was not nearly enough, we'll say right from the beginning. Giant spider, guys. Giant spider.
So,
Sony should take notice of Sam's comment, though. Kenneth Branagh as Spider-Man. Yeah,
right.
He
He's
direct
already
and
directed.
star.
Yeah, exactly.
And we are at the point too where they're rebooting him. So why not?
Another time.
Why not?
Bananas. And then the beginning of the movie also brings us Ted Levine. Ted Levine?
I would say Levine. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is his just the most conceivably disgusting character. This, the movie takes place in the late 1860s after the Civil War, and Ted Levine is in there as this, fallen Confederate soldier, and he's just the most vile, like, dirty and skeevy, and he's got an ear trumpet that at one time he tilts down to empty of this trickle of earwax. So awful.
This is literally the most disgusting thing we have seen in any of the movies we have reviewed so far.
Like, we already understood that this guy was unpleasant, and then that movie, you're abusing the privilege. What are you doing, film?
That was pretty nasty.
Oh, so bad.
So what else?
Well, the movie didn't warrant his character. Like, there was really no place for him in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, he should have either been in there longer or not been in there at all.
He was the MacGuffin villain that, Jim West, Will Smith's character, is coming in to hunt down, and what leads him eventually to Kenneth Branagh, for sure.
You can point to any number of the characters in this movie and say there's no place for them.
Yeah, Selma Hayek's
not the least of which is Selma Hayek.
I was going to say, except Selma Hayek's bosom. But yeah, the rest of her...
It's doing lots of heavy lifting, but everyone else is sort of unessential.
Yeah.
She's the leading lady in this movie and has no purpose or
she plays the two leads off each other in something that goes nowhere.
When you if you take her out, it's kind of interesting. Like if they had rewritten the script and it had removed her character, it would have been a really interesting movie because it would have been two guys without love interests in it, which is kind of an interesting thought because a lot of times movies like this have a central female character whom they're both after.
If this movie were made today, do you think they would have made Kevin Kline full-on gay?
Possibly. Just to have fun with it.
Yeah, I could see
and
that
especially
coming
the period kind of
and
where
maybe
he can't
has
be
a
fully
thing
open,
for Will
so
Smith and ends up
that
with the
might
guy who
work.
looks just like Will Smith.
No, I don't think so.
Because they immediately have a contentious relationship, you guys. Because Will Smith is something with like Army Marshal or something. And then Kevin Kline is something else. They're both in some sort of law enforcement and just butt heads immediately as they each thwart each other's investigation. And guess what happens next?
An uninspired buddy cop movie.
An uninspired buddy cop movie. The president asks them to work together. And now, I've seen the movie, guys. I'm fairly intelligent. I followed. I don't entirely understand what Kenneth Branagh's evil plot is.
Giant spider.
How does that work?
We covered that already. Giant spider.
He seems to maintain that this is a weapon that will decimate the United States, that will just absolutely put it entirely in his thrall.
It'll lessen it by 1/10, which is what decimate is.
It is a single giant spider, which is unwieldy and rickety and weird looking and like intense.
And can blow rocks up.
Intense, still pretty bad, but this one thing out in Utah is going to ruin the country. I don't understand his plan.
He built a giant spider. He's insane. He's clearly just insane.
Right, that is a good point. Yeah, he is insane. So his plan may not be the most well conceived, but they take it very seriously. I guess he's still blowing shit up. So,
and then he's been kidnapping scientists, which is very bad.
Yeah,
to make the weird steampunk.
They're a few years away from the Industrial Revolution. They need those scientists. Maybe not more than a few.
I want to see an alternate history sequel. What the Industrial Revolution is like, knowing that this giant mechanical spider exists.
Ooh.
And that flight was invented 40 years early.
In 40 seconds.
In 40 seconds, Kevin Kline was able to develop a flying machine.
Discovers flight during this movie, yes.
What is the purpose of the women on in the spider who are running it? Kind of like the henchmen, but the henchwomen of
Dr. Lovelace's.
Yeah, Dr.
Wonderfully named women.
Let's talk about their names. There was, I don't remember now.
His acolytes, he's got these 4 ladies that just hang around and do his evil bidding. And there was, Munitia, who's in charge of the guns.
Yeah.
Amazonia, who didn't seem that much taller than any of the others, but I'm sure she could kick some ass. Miss East.
Oh, God.
Who is the Asian one.
They actually not, I don't want to say
that's like Yellow Ranger quality.
But she's also a good counterpoint for West. It's weird that the movie never points that out to you.
Oh, no, I think they did.
Yeah.
Did they? I missed that.
I think she may have said exactly that. And then, obviously, Sam's favorite, the lady
the lip reader.
The lip reader who's skilled at reading lips. Miss Lippen Reader. She's foreign.
Is that really her name?
That's her name.
Oh my god.
Lippen Reader.
I actually enjoyed that.
It was a little funny. Like, if the movie had been more of that, just weird, clever winks, that would have been okay. But guys, it's not funny.
It really isn't.
It is not at all.
I didn't mind. I know you kind of were on. You didn't like the racial and the racial jokes and the.
Yeah.
So
I
many.
did not mind those so much.
God,
but
it is-
maybe I'm less PC.
There was a scene between Will Smith's character and Kenneth Branagh's character, where
that was
Kenneth
Kenneth
Branagh is there's just the top part of him. So for whatever reason, they were able to salvage the top part of his body, and
Which is medically confusing.
yeah, it's very
But
medically
somehow in the war,
confusing.
he lost the lower half of his body.
And so he's in this wheelchair, and then Will Smith comes up to him, and they just start slinging insults to each other, which is just ridiculous. And just there's like so many racist insults that Kenneth Branagh throws at Will Smith's character, and then there are many paraplegic insults that Will Smith's character slings to Kenneth Branagh's character, and the whole thing is just, you just cringe.
And they're just blithely going back and forth, like,
Yeah.
well, I haven't seen you in a coon's age.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, well,
maybe
you know,
you can stand
a
up.
man of your stature. Like, oh.
I like puns.
And I want to make the argument that it's not about being PC. Like, jokes can be, any kind of joke can be funny if it's done right. But this movie does not achieve that. It is just uncomfortable. There is so much overt racism and just like, oh, it's uncomfortable and icky. And it comes from the villains, but it's still really awkward.
Does
And
it
then
come from the villains? Does it all come from the villains? All the un-PC humor?
Well, no, but then when
the
in this
black
scene
joke.
we have our hero who is a little bit, slightly anti-hero, but still like slinging right back with, he's gaining the upper ground by making cripple jokes. I'm like, that's not how
don't
you
know what it's like to be a black man in white America.
That's true.
And neither do
right
I.
after the war.
But I'm sure it pushed buttons with him. So I don't know why I'm defending this movie. I've already said it's bad. But
But it's
don't know.
really uncomfortable. It's, maybe it could have done successfully by someone better at this sort of thing, but just feels so awkward and skeevy. Like, stop it. No one's having fun.
But which reminds me, who is this movie for? Because, you've got giant spiders and things like that, and funny, not funny, but whatever, arguably funny, but villains who have, like, blades for arms, and so it's like, it skews young, fun stuff like that, but then you have these jokes that are not appropriate for kids.
I would say like teenagers, the same kind of audience that Transformers goes after. Transformers has a lot of
Do they?
raunchy stuff. So, well, at least the first one. I haven't seen any of the other movies, but I would say that like that same age demographics. It's PG-13, right? So it'd be like 13-ish plus.
Was this a PG-13 movie, do we know?
It was.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which
That
is
seems-
what makes the
new.
yeah, the ball shots at the beginning so much more amazing.
Our rating system is lame. How you could
It is.
drop the F-bomb or show a butt every once in a while, and that gives you a higher rating, but like if they would have said, I'm going to say it, if they would have said fuck a few times, would have gotten a bigger rating, but all the racism, that's fine, we don't care.
Yeah.
Kids can see that.
It's historical. It's fine.
That's the worst.
This was a lot like going to school. This movie.
Right? It was a great education.
I learned a lot.
If it
I
had
did.
been that, if it existed, it's like, guys, I love history. If it existed in some sort of realistic historical period and still been, fun and fantastical, it would have been so much better. But it just feels like it has no historical conscience whatsoever. Like, when they're at the big party at Kenneth Branagh's house and, Will Smith makes a blunder and is going to give up the game, like, Kevin Kline, to make a distraction, says, lynch him! And we go into the most hysterical
It's not
lynching in
funny.
history.
It's
It's funny because it's horrible. 'cause
the
they
most
all,
offensive part of
they
the
all
movie.
drag him out and they grab the rope that Kevin Kline's delivered, and then they wait politely for Will Smith to give a speech. Like you have always done. At
You
the
don't think
lynchings.
that's how it goes?
Oh my goodness. And it's the most, here's a chance to, to see him tap dance. And it's just so awkward. What spews out of his mouth is so random and weird.
It feels like it's pushing edgy, but without really any point or humor to it. It's just really strange.
Absolutely. I feel like the writer's room was just filled with people congratulating themselves. Like, oh, this is so hilarious, guys. We're doing a great job. Like, no. You're
Or do you
missing
think there was a
entirely.
writer's room?
Or just barreling through. Guys, let's get this
Yeah.
done.
I think that
I think
past 100 writers.
if I were to guess that they wanted to kind of do like a historical piece with, but like with fantasy and like realism, and they just did not deliver at all. That would be my guess.
Could be. Speaking of the writer's room, I'm going to get into our first segment. Punch up. Now, we all know that when you punch up a script, it's when you take a script and you make it funnier. You put in more jokes. So let's go around the room and see, does anyone have any jokes that would have been better than the jokes on the screen? I know we watched it over a week ago now, so this might not be the best week to do it. But I might have a couple, but Lauren, have you anything?
Oh, I want to hear yours.
Okay.
Such a good question. What else can I do to stall?
Ted Levine's character, who had the ear problem, he had the horn stuck in his ear. There were a couple that I wrote down. And when I say better than what was in the movie, I actually kind of mean comparable to what was in the movie. Because I think somebody should have said to him something like, do you remember his name? I don't remember. Whatever. Lend me your ears, or whatever. Oh, God. No, I can't. I'm saying it horribly now.
I still think that would absolutely have been better than the shout out that they did to the RCA Victor logo when he died, and the little dog that one of the dignitaries had jumped down off of his lap and then went to stand next to the trumpet like the RCA dog.
I enjoyed that.
That was preposterous.
You mean his master's voice?
That reference, yes, absolutely. That reference to a thing that doesn't exist yet.
I enjoyed
most of our audience
that.
probably wouldn't know about.
I didn't realize what that was until just now.
I enjoyed that.
As I was watching, I was like, that dog looks a lot like the RCA Victor dog. Oh, and now that's what's happening. Oh, crap.
But I got a better one. At one point where Kenneth Branagh, he's talking to the guy, and he should have said something like, well, let's not wax nostalgic about things in the war, because he had earwax.
Would have thrown up all over again.
Okay, now that I've given you a little time, would you like me to skip you? Do you guys have anything?
I
I
know.
don't. I have nothing
I love the
constructive
idea
to
of this
say.
segment. I feel like it will be better if we have it in our brains going forward. Like, we can look out for moments.
Plus, I'll put a punchy, no pun intended, theme song to it.
Sweet. That's going to be awesome. How is Urban Voodoo Machine going to come up with that theme tune?
I'll find something off of one of their, and I'll do a little sound. No, I've got something in mind, so we're gonna be okay.
I like the idea of the segment. I'm certainly excited to work on it in the future. I think last time we all did agree that actually Kenneth Branagh actually looks like he's the one that's doing the best work in the movie.
Oh, I
Right?
agree.
Yeah.
Kenneth Branagh is functioning on exactly the level he should be.
It's still preposterous, but he's just gleefully this horrible villain, and it kind of works.
Yeah.
Sporting his best capital hairstyle from Hunger Games.
Yeah.
And I don't know, he works well. It's not his fault that he has this tight, awkward camera on him all the time when he's spinning around in his chair.
That was little.
That he has a horrible plan that's not going to work.
Yeah. So before we get into other segments, anyone else have anything they want to bring up?
Oh, goodness. There's so much stuff, like just moments of insanity. But nothing that was so big and crazy that's like, look at this part. It's just a general feeling of ugh through the whole movie.
Yeah, I just don't think they explained enough, like how Kenneth Branagh's character developed all those things, like those metal neck things,
Right, that
like how did he come
magnetize.
up with that, and
Oh,
like
yeah.
the spider, how would he,
How does he operate? How does he have money to, research
Yeah.
and develop all these crazy things? Because he does not appear to be a genius himself.
No, I don't know.
He's a wealthy landowner. All southern wealthy landowners could do that. That's
They're megalomaniacs.
It'd be more fun if instead of being kind of like in control, if he had all this power, but he was totally insane, and they weren't necessarily afraid of him taking over the He holds the nation ransom, which is amazing, but like you have to be insane to hold the nation ransom. And it's
Because
not
his plan is not going to work.
And if the heroes weren't so much concerned that his plan was going to work and he was actually going to somehow take over the country with a giant mechanical spider, but that he was going to kill a lot of people with a giant mechanical spider because he's insane,
Of course he won't defeat the country, but he's going to hurt himself. And maybe
Yeah.
other people, we should really do something about this.
Yeah, that is hilarious, and that would be an interesting kind of like climax to
That
the
would
movie.
be different. I would
Yeah.
prefer that. And to acknowledge that his plan was flawed, but there's still going to be a lot of carnage. He kidnaps the president. That's a bad thing. We can't stand
he
it.
can't.
Can't do that. No.
Will Smith, please dress in drag and go save the day.
Oh God! Do you want to talk about that? Will Smith and drag. Oh, that was.
I've been
bad.
trying to scrub it out of my brain for a week.
Okay,
but it's
we
not
will.
worked.
I'm not kidding. I had fallen asleep. I watched this movie with Laura, and I had fallen asleep, and Laura tapped me on the shoulder and went, "You're missing it. Look, he's in drag." So
that's
bad.
awful.
After spending the whole movie making fun of Kevin Kline and his master of disguiseness, he has to come in and save the day. In a really awkward, distract the supervillain by doing a sexy dance. And no one's gonna say, like, hey, who's this person? We didn't hire a new girl or anything like that.
Abonia?
Abonia, which he immediately
Abonia.
dubs her. Which is a good... We learned that he must name his girls. He doesn't care if they have real names or histories, because he immediately is like, I'm going to think of your most distinct characteristic and name you after that.
Because he's insane.
I will say this, though. In his defense, he made a more convincing woman than Kevin Kline
That's
did.
fair. That's accurate.
Who looked like unattractive Jamie Lee Curtis. Way less attractive. Anyway.
And Kenneth Branagh sold that. He was captivated by the feminine sexuality that Will Smith was just exuding, apparently.
He was. Okay, Laura, you mentioned a segment.
My idea was to talk about the most absurd part / the most outrageous part of the movie that we all thought we could go around and talk about it.
You want to start?
I think the giant spider was the most outrageous part for me, because you have this metal gigantic spider just going through the desert, and it's just, I mean, out of nowhere, and it's like, where does it come from? And you know, it seriously covers a lot of ground in very little time, so it just, and
its proportions do change
yeah,
for the movie,
and there are a lot of people on that spider too, a lot of hidden people who come out and try and attack Will Smith's character, and James West, I think is his name, so I'll call him, I'll interchange Will Smith, James West, but yeah, they attack him, and they come out of the darkness, literally, so it's very weird. Oh, and also, I know this is too, but the also absurd part were the metal, or the magnetized neck things, the weird orbit things around their neck, and that was very strange to
I mean,
see.
when it simulated oral sex, when it made them simulate oral sex and all the other stuff. And you, Bobby?
It's gotta be when Kevin Kline invents flight by just biking off a cliff, because it's not working, you know. He's going off of this sketch, and then he just bikes right off a cliff, because that's exactly what you should be doing if it's, you know, that's what the Wright brothers did, you know.
And Will Smith, he shows a lot of faith in the guy, too, for someone he's been kind of crapping on this whole time.
And he's mastered it in like a second, too. Like, he knows how to fly this thing, how to steer it and everything.
Flight's not that hard, really.
Yeah, it's really not.
How about you, Lauren?
You guys, I have you trumped. I mean, those are all cute little moments, but, like, they fit in your regular crazy action film of, like, suspend disbelief. The most insane moment is when Will Smith breaks into Kenneth Branagh's office trying to find hints into his scheme. Biling as Miss East comes in to distract him. And while she's distracting him, we see one of the giant life-size paintings behind him has turned, and there's a real man there with a rifle who has somehow completely hidden, who is about to shoot him. Will Smith ducks out of the way and does a bunch of like, choo, 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 and then we see just 15 men on the ground. One falls from the ceiling. Somehow, all these guys hidden perfectly in these paintings. We see a life-size cutout of them from the background. That, perspective-wise, that doesn't work. Like, how would you not notice they were there? And then also, why didn't they shoot him for the 10-15 minutes that he was in the room by himself? They waited for Biling to come in. And then, like, one guy, so like, were they spending the whole time just like, what should we do? Are you gonna shoot? No, I'll shoot. Okay, should we be quiet? Okay, let's just wait and see where this goes.
Well, there's your punch up. The guy steps out of the painting, looks at Jim West, and says, "It appears you lack perspective."
Perfect.
That's exactly the same one.
Awesome. I think for me, I'm going to go... These were all definitely outrageous moments. I'm going to go the outrageous screenwriting moments. When there were a couple where it was the most clunky, lazy screenwriting, where early in the film... Kevin Kline holds up his new invention and might as well say, see this impermeable thing? You're going to wear it. It's a bulletproof vest. Someone's going to shoot a bullet at you. It's going to look like you're dead. You're going to be alive. Here you go. And then there's a later moment where we see a spider walking in the desert, and then a really bad CGI of a desert wasp
Something like that.
coming and stinging the spider and basically saying, So we're going to be dealing with a giant spider, and here this flying thing is attacking this giant spider. Just food for thought. I'm sure it won't come back into play
That's just
later.
the thing I thought you might like to notice.
It was very clever.
Yeah.
Or whatever the opposite of clever is.
Yeah, maybe that would have been my punch up. Not so much punching up as just smoothing out those rough edges.
By hitting delete.
Now, Laura, you had mentioned in your concept that you also thought there should be a best scene argument, or like the one that worked the best.
Yeah.
Now, do you feel like for this movie that's still possible? Do you want to attempt it?
Let me start with Sam, since Sam was the one who wanted to defend it. So we'll start with him.
Well, there were a few things that were decent. I actually thought, as stupid as it sounds, I'll call it a chase scene on the train.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of entertaining when, so they're following the spider train. And then all of a sudden the spider train is behind them, and I won't go to the logistics of that, but it's dumb. That stretchy rope that was used earlier, Will Smith uses that to try to get to the train, and I don't know, it was
a bit of
it was
like
hard to explain, but it wasn't
action.
it wasn't too bad.
Although you were complaining that they were using a set piece earlier where Kevin Kline pushed the button and Will Smith got tied to the pool table and was suddenly flipped upside down into the train. Yeah. And then this time they did the same thing. It worked entirely differently.
We can only assume that in that time Will Smith, Kevin Kline perfected his invention.
Oh, all right. That's fair.
So that would be mine. I mean, it was not great by any standard, but it was better. Anyone else? Who wants to go next?
Do you want to go, Lauren?
I'm a child. I'm going to admit that the scene when Kevin Kline and Will Smith are earlier on the train and discussing the merits of, like, his disguises, and, Kevin Kline has these fake bosoms that he's so proud of, and, like, Will Smith's like, no, please, here, let me show you what you do. You fill it up with water. And then train conductor M. Emmett Walsh comes up behind and is just hearing the discussion of, like, now, like, oh, doesn't that feel good? Oh, yeah, that feels great. Oh, now I feel hard, as he's testing his other boob. A hilarious Three's Company moment of misunderstanding.
That should have been played by Norman Fell.
It was preposterous, but I admit that I'm silly, and that actually made me legitimately laugh.
I'm sorry, guys, I forgot. Seeing Selma Hayek's butt. That was obviously the best part. But anyway.
I think that my favorite part was when... it's that memorable of a movie. No, but okay. So there's this one part where they have the president, and he's played by Kevin Kline. Actually played by Kevin Kline. The real president is supposed to be played by Kevin Kline. But you have Kevin Kline's character playing the president because he wants to try and convince Will Smith's character that he's, like, what to go on his side, like, to believe him. And so he's, like, that's basically winking to the audience saying, like, hey, guess what? Kevin Kline's actually playing the president. Yeah. So anyway, it's kind of like, you understand if you watch it, but it's kind of fun.
So I think, like we've discussed, that Kenneth Branagh comes the closest to working on its intended level in this movie. And I think his greatest moment, or one of his greatest moments, is if you want to establish that character as an insane, crazy, bitter Southerner, the way you have him make his entrance is you wheel in a model of Abraham Lincoln's head and then have him literally explode out of it and come out
like a
in his steampunk wheelchair. I thought that was actually like a pretty amazing
it's
little
a literal
moment.
A steampunk because there's steam coming out of the wheelchair.
Yes.
And he's a friggin' punk.
Guys, this movie almost killed steampunk. I'm glad it survived, but barely.
Okay, well, that was fun.
I like that segment.
That was fun, yeah. Now, something I just thought of a few minutes ago, which was what I was going to say, has been stepped on, but it's okay. What would have been a better movie? Something from this movie, be it a character's arc, some sort of prequel, sequel, a side story that wasn't dug into as much. What would have made a better movie? And I'll start, since I'm just bringing this on you. All the guys hiding in the paintings, I would like to see their stories. See what kind of crazy ninja assassin these guys are that they could hide so well and be so patient. And I want to know, what, like you said, what were they waiting for?
There'd be a crazy, tragic, slow motion final scene as Will Smith, one by one, guns each of them down.
If Quentin Tarantino did that scene, it would be hilarious and amazing and just rock and roll and cool.
And you would know he did it with a wink.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This movie just feels like it's trying to do everything with a wink, and it's like, no, you were a super duper serious movie, we can tell. Stop trying.
Does anyone else have something? I know, like I said, I just sprung it on you.
I feel so disappointed because, the television show was a very different animal, and it was like a fun adventure series. Like, I still want to see the movie with Jim West, your cool, like, kind of anti-hero, you know, Wild West gunslinger. And then it's a great combination of with your very intellectual, you know, gadgety-minded guy. Like, there's still a good movie there. I just want to see just that buddy cop film with, you know, actual peril and stakes and better characters and good writing.
Yeah, hopefully it didn't kill not the franchise, but the idea.
Right.
Okay, so bear with me. So you consolidate characters. Kevin Kline is the man in the first scene who gets his head cut off. And so he's a disembodied head for the rest of the movie. And so every scene he's explaining something as a disembodied head, and Will Smith is standing behind him saying, "That is a man's head."
Rule of comedy, it gets funnier the more we do it.
Why stop at 3?
This movie didn't.
No, it did not.
I think it would be actually really interesting if you went from the perspective of the bad people, kind of knew more about them,
That'd be fun.
and you got to know all about the sidekicks with the really bad names, you know, learn more about them and stuff. That's what I think would be more interesting.
I agree. It's a way more fun movie if you're if it's about Kenneth Branagh trying to take America back.
I like it.
Yeah.
Explains how he has all these, like, mutant henchmen with the metal hands and, like, the weird metal skull guy. Like, explains how they came to be. And
What was his- Oh, yeah, that's right. I was trying to think of the pun. That the guy who has blades for hands, and Will Smith kicks him off the spider. He says, "No more Mr. Knife Guy."
Oh, God. Just,
I like that line, but I'm a weirdo. Okay. So now...
That's not really what he said.
That is, yeah.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
I forgot that part. Or I blocked it out, because that's insane.
So, next up, Lauren's Cooking Corner.
What? A cooking corner in a podcast?
Lauren is going to give us a dish idea sprung from inspired by this movie.
Okay. I'm thinking of a dish that is a combination of... No, this is even horrible. It's a combination of sweet and savory with also gooey and crunchy and maybe a little like lemon and citrus, but then also kind of like chocolate. Like just all these great things all thrown together in a big pot and then mixed up together, and just you eat it and it tastes disgusting. Like that's what this movie should be. Take all the things you love in your kitchen and put them together, and then it'll still be horrible. Because that's what this movie does. Takes what should be great and mixes it with some bad, and it just comes out a mess. And also, I'm really keen to make the cake that we see Kenneth Branagh has sent to the president at the beginning of the movie with his threat. This beautiful marzipan White House cake covered in spiders. So I think you could recreate that. That would be great for President's Day or Halloween. Just, you know, make an almond cake, cover it with buttercream frosting, and, you know, get some pipe on some spiders. Or get real spiders.
yeah,
Either way.
you have to train them to crawl out at the right moment.
Yes.
though.
Right.
They waited very patiently.
What was his plan with that cake? Was that supposed to get him to... And then he sent him the cake and he said, like, give up the union or something like that.
It's essentially that. But also, he didn't sign the note, is what we figured out last time, right?
Yeah.
He sends this threat to the president, like, give up the country or else.
He's insane.
He's insane. I love it. I'm actually thinking that I'm having more fun with this now. Just embracing that he's cuckoo bananas. Like, no evil genius, just crazy. I love it.
Thank you, Lauren.
Thank you.
And next up, Bobby and Laura argue gender politics in regards to the movie we just watched.
Well,
Here-
it's...
Let me start the
okay.
timer.
Okay.
Laura, you will have 1 minute. Do you think that suffice? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Could we just argue back and forth with each other in that minute? Rather than do
whatever.
like a
Do you think
minute
that'll
each?
be... Do you think... Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Okay, and go.
All right, well, this movie is clearly misogynistic. I mean, like, you have Kevin Kline and Will Smith dressing up in drag, but they're not, like, they do it in a way that's kind of exploitative towards women, I think.
Yeah, sure, but then you have the Salma Hayek character, who normally would be
also-
taken advantage of in this movie, but she ends up playing both the male characters. You know, she uses
But
them.
then you don't really have, like, a strong feminine character in the
Sure
movie.
you do. You have a Salma Hayek character, and then you also have all the henchmen who are women.
But they all are killed off at the end, so that doesn't really work.
No joke, it was kind of refreshing in this movie to see a woman character killed off as recklessly and carelessly as a male character normally would in a PG-13 movie. When Kevin Kline
that happens a lot in movies.
Kevin Kline just lets her fall off. You know, she goes and tackles him, and then very clumsily falls off. But you're like, oh my god, that was a woman character who just straight up fell to her death.
So are you saying that this is pro women?
Yes, I think this is clearly the most progressive movie ever made.
Wow.
He's lying, so.
That being said, no, you could totally just delete the leading lady out of this movie and you would never even know the difference.
Yeah. So, I think we both agree that it's
You guys did a good job.
not very good.
I did stop it with a second left, but I think like you would just finish your basic arguments. So good job.
Yeah. It's not a pro
Please
female movie.
do not touch me.
But who is this movie pro? I mean, we say it's not pro female, but is it pro anyone?
Spider.
I think it's pro
You're right.
spiders.
I'm sorry. You're absolutely
It's
correct.
pro Will Smith
No,
and
it's not.
Kevin
No,
Kline.
it is.
And Will Smith's
No, it
penis.
is.
Yeah.
There is.
Second billing, a little excessive, right? Before Kevin Kline, even.
It was weird.
That's worse than Bugs Bunny before Michael Jordan.
Right? Okay, let's see what else.
What else? What
I
else?
think
What else?
I think we have one more segment left. It is something I call. I gotta get it right. Oh, I forgot what it was. Oh, bad movie rap. We're going to rap
Oh,
about this.
God.
Oh, can we just sing the song? That
Negative. So I
This is just a test, right? If this doesn't go well, we'll scrap it.
oh. Yeah, so I found a sick rap. A sick beat, I should say. And I'm going to play it.
I don't think you can say sick beat anymore because Taylor Swift
not
copyrighted it.
That might be true. Timely.
Copyrights.
Apparently, there's this thing where musicians are copyrighting
Yeah,
phrases
yeah.
now. And
There was a sick beat that accompanied this movie, Sam, and during the credits.
that is true.
Wait, and Taylor Swift has copyrighted a phrase? I mean, I can see Kanye West being all over that, but
Yeah, Taylor Swift. Not America's sweetheart.
She might you
just
might
a savvy
say she was
businesswoman.
very quick on obtaining it. Damn it, her name's Swift.
That did not work out.
Oh, I want to walk over there and give you a hug.
looking for you.
Okay, so who wants to start?
Well, I think you should,
Yeah,
Sam.
chest out stuff, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'll try. Okay.
This is where we trick Sam
All
into
right,
doing
guys,
a
yo,
rap
yo,
by himself.
yo. This is gonna be good.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay, I'm not sure where to come in. I'm not a professional rapper.
We are
No.
so white.
Okay.
Oh, yo.
My name is Sam, and I watched a film. You know this film well, and something else. It stars a man. His name is Will Smith. He is an actor who has the... I don't know why I suggested this thing. Okay.
Cut!
No. Okay. Can I start over? I'm going to start over. But I'm doing it, and then the rest of you are doing it
I
too.
don't think Scott would start over. Go ahead.
Who?
You can cut that out.
Okay. Uh-huh. What? This needs to be louder too, too. I'll put it here so you guys can hear it.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Closest to me now.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. I should thank DJ Mustard right now for laying the sick beat. Apologies to Taylor Swift. My name is Sam and I like movies. I like films where you see a girl's boobies. You don't see that in this movie, but you do see some butts of some Hayek. I know that doesn't rhyme. I haven't got the time to come up with a rhyme, so get off my back. If you don't agree, shut the hell up or watch Wild West, cause it was on my track.
Yay!
Oh, I wasn't done, but okay.
Okay.
And that concludes the segment. Sam's bad movie rap.
It's not fair.
Oh my god. Can Sam do an impromptu gangster rap
Do you want
after
to keep, do you
every
want
movie?
more? Do you want to do more?
Yeah, we're
I
gonna
want
rename
everyone
that to
else to do
Sam.
it.
No,
Impromptu
Sam, we
Gangster
can't
Rap.
follow that. That's too good. It's too good.
Oh, you guys suck.
Oh, do you want us just to do it this once?
I do.
Alright.
Go, Lauren.
Is that Laura?
Lauren. Whoever. Someone.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Wild West, y'all. Spiders. Gadgets. What? Steampunk. Oh yeah. Drag. A little more drag. Yeah.
This could be the 30-second roundup.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe wrap up. Laura, take it.
Well, what? West. Yeah. That's, yeah. Yeah. Movie, yeah.
No, I'm not doing this
Take
shit.
it away, Bobby.
Nope.
Oh, you suck. Okay. Oh, do it.
Will Smith is Jim West, Kevin Kline's Artemis Gordon. They're having lots of fun. They're out not being bored. Out in the West, they're fighting the evil of Kenneth Branagh, who lives in a steeple. He loves spiders so much, and he's got lots of ladies. I'm horrible.
We watched a movie called Wild Wild West. It wasn't the worst. In fact, it was the best. Oh, wait. I got that backwards. Shut up. I don't know what I'm doing. I am a mutt. This movie had a big old spider. I like my girl and to come inside her. Oh, that was dirty. I'm sorry. Okay, we're going to bring it down. Yeah.
So what we're
fade
discovering
out.
is this is a lot harder than it was
Yeah.
when we see people doing that.
We need to be stoned.
A lot more respect for Wayne Brady.
That's actually not as hard. I don't know.
Really, I feel like, improv is hard, but I feel like the song and rhyming and coming up with a cohesive thought in rhyme on cue is really hard.
I don't know. Maybe it's just the practice, but like when we did in our improv group, we had to do one song thing, and it wasn't as bad as this was. Really bad. I don't know.
In this segment, Lauren and Sam argue the comic genius of Wayne Brady.
I just think that, he's really a charismatic figure, and that we
I
can really
think
all
he
agree.
does. I think he does a good job with the music
In the
but
style of a
otherwise-
90s R&B song. accompanied by Laura Hall on the piano.
You know I love Wayne Brady. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Oh, you're driving me crazy when you say you don't like Wayne Brady.
Maybe because it's slower. It's easier.
Boy, yeah, I think it makes a difference. And rap is sort of built on being wordplay and kind of quick and clever, and so,
But seriously, I never thought he was that funny. Very
No.
talented with the music, but
yeah. It's a different skill.
and this
Dare both of you.
this is in defense of Wayne Brady.
It was all about Ryan Stiles and Colin Mockery. Anyone else in there
Yeah.
was just trying to keep up.
Yeah, their fourth was sometimes good, depending on who it was. It was pretty good. Yeah.
I just want to make the point I really enjoyed last time with looking up. I love to look up IMDb trivia before our movies. And just the biggest thing being that Will Smith turned down the role of Neo in The Matrix to do this film. Like, he did choose this over that movie and acknowledges it being the greatest career mistake of his life.
How to absolutely make this movie better, cast Keanu Reeves.
That might be the movie we'd
And
use.
keep all of the racial jokes in.
That would be the just element of irony that was missing that you really do need. Oh goodness. Yeah, it was a mess. It was
They say that you need to stand when I'm in your presence. I'm trying to do Keanu
New segment.
Reeves.
Oh, I see.
Laura does an impression of
Keep going, Laura.
That's a spider.
if Keanu Reeves had been in this movie. It was Laura King.
I am a U.S. Marshal.
But no one would have tried to lynch him, and that would have been a sight that we missed.
Now, before we started recording, somebody pointed out that they did not realize that Jim West's name was a reference to...
That is so embarrassing, Sam. I cannot believe that you didn't realize. I just...
No. I thought you were going to say, take offense that I embarrassed you. I'm like, you didn't do the rap battle. This is your...
Yeah. Right as we were setting up the mic, I did notice, oh my god, his name was West, and the film is called Wild Wild West. And it took on a second meaning, and I'm not gonna lie, it really did improve my enjoyment of this film.
Really did.
And so before, where I
that's-
couldn't recommend this movie, I have to say I offer a hearty recommendation now.
But let's do the series, really. I feel like you're recommending the original TV show.
Watch
Watch
the TV show, which I have not seen. It should be great. It does not have giant mechanical spiders, because technology was not there.
I really want to watch the show. I've never seen it before. I didn't know anything about it, but just in prep before this, it's on YouTube, but we just looked at some of the opening segments because I wanted to see if it matched the one for this film, which is a big, overly complicated opening segment.
I thought it was fun.
Shut up. No, I know. But for the series, it was way cooler. It was
It
like
was.
an animated shot. It's a bunch of different tiles of like Wild West shots, and you have, your one figure that's clearly Jim West, and he sort of interacts with the others, like goes to shoot a villain over here, and there's a lady over here he goes to kiss, and in one version, he punches the lady. And I'm like, that's awesome. I want to watch a show where they're embracing the fact that our hero punches ladies.
Are we sure that lady was not actually Artemis Gordon in drag?
Oh,
Artemis
it
Gordon was
could've
Kevin
been.
Kline's
Darn
character.
it, that's fair. But they're supposed to be working together. No punching.
Oh,
Jim
okay.
West, the Lady Puncher.
Lady puncher. Just to
That'd
show
be a good
that
movie.
is irreverent enough to embrace, lady violence as comedy. Like, oh, all right, let's go. Which this movie kind of did. Oh no. That's actually a mark in its favor.
So we liked the movie,
We did.
Loved
We
it.
loved
and now we have a bunch of
Really
new.
good. Clever wordplay.
And now we have a bunch of new segments. We would absolutely love to hear how you guys liked it. You, the listening audience, that I'm talking to right now. Well, how Laura? How could they contact us and let us know?
Oh, well, they can go to our Facebook page, In Defense of Bad Movies, and you can like us, or I don't think you have to like us to leave a comment on our Facebook.
Oh, don't
So
tell them that.
But it's nice.
Yeah,
want them
it's
to
nice
like.
if you like us. But yeah, so feel free to leave us a comment, or you can email us at indefenseofbadmovies@gmail.com, I
Right.
believe.
Yeah.
So indefenseofbadmovies@gmail.com. And then we also have a Twitter account. Bobby does that. It's
IDBM podcast.
No, we're not asking you about that. Oh, you weren't finished. Sorry.
we have an
IDOBM podcast at that.
It's
That's what it is. At IDOBM podcast. I don't run this Twitter or anything. Each of the first letters of In Defense of Bad Movies podcast. And please follow us. We need more followers.
Our abbreviated title is, I swear, unintentionally dirty and
But we're gonna
horrible.
embrace it.
Yeah, it's a good mnemonic.
Damn straight.
What's that show called? Well, it's just IDBM.
Well, since I segued into the plugs, anything else you guys would like to plug personally on a personal level?
Not right now. I think I'm good.
Bobby, you're cool.
No, yeah.
Lauren,
I
would
do
you
have
like
something
to
to plug.
Oh.
I'm in a play at the Long Beach Playhouse. It's a really charming old community theater in Long Beach, and we're doing The Real Thing by Tom Stoppard. So if you like to see a well-written script that's thought through and, well justified, and the characters are all well-rounded, like, this is the one for you. We just opened. We're running through March 28th on weekends, and it's really good. Come on out. And I do plug the podcast in our program, so we're going to have a lot of new listeners, I guarantee.
And I saw the play last night. It was fantastic. Lauren did a great job. The whole cast did as well. Don't want to just single you out, although you were obviously the best.
What? No, stop it. Ah!
And my bachelorette, or not bachelorette,
Whoa!
my bachelor weekend is this weekend, so come on down to San Diego and try to find us, and you probably won't.
That was weird.
And I'm doing stand up again.
It's an open invite for anyone, right?
Yeah, if you can find us. Yeah.
We'll be doing our live show there.
We will be taking it down south of the border and doing a donkey show. In that, no women will be involved. We'll just be interacting with the donkey. No.
Trying to pin a tail on it. and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I hate that.
I am doing stand-up again for the first time in a while. You might see me in open mic nights around the Los Angeles metropolitan area. Other than that, I don't think I have anything.
You have to get some dates for your open mic nights and start plugging them as if they were like proper gigs. Like, all right, I'm going to be at the library on.
What was the place I was at last week? Maybe I will next time, but not tonight because I don't have all the details. And you can follow me on @SamBowenComedy, which I might change. I'm getting tired of that. It sounds like it's too on the nose. What do you think about @NotTheRealSamBowen?
Can't do that.
Okay. Anyway,
I do.
Dan
I
Savage
do.
does that.
I do diarrhea. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I do SM. I don't know where
What's
M.
SM?
Laura, who told you?
For a second,
What
I
have
thought
you been
your
telling
initials
Laura?
were SM, and I was like,
Goodbye, everyone.
Yeah.
We'll see you in 1 month.
oh, it's SB because I was thinking of a bad movie, so I was thinking your last name was an M. I don't know why, but you're
Sam
not. So
movies, that's what we call them.
so I do SB. He does
I am
Santa
SB.
Barbara, or you do Santa Barbara.
Yes.
ID
I've done all of Santa Barbara.
SB. What? Oh, San Bernardino.
None of the above. So yeah, I think anything else anyone else wants to say before we say adieu?
Adios, y'all.
All right,
Let's
yeah.
keep on theme.
That's better.
See you later.
All right, bye. Thanks for listening.
Adios. Bye.